How many times do entrepreneurs fail before they succeed? You're going to be shocked at the statistic. I'm going to give it to you towards the middle of the video. The three things I want to talk about is number one, I'm really understanding the essence of being an entrepreneur and why failure is even an option. Number two, the role of due diligence and actually just getting started. And I'm going to say getting to revenue very quickly. And number three, the emotional pitfalls that entrepreneurs drop into and why they end up quitting. So let's begin. Get a pen and paper. And again, watch for our journal coming out on our YouTube channel. We'll be selling those journals sometime this month. We'll be giving some early bird specials for those of you that want them. And it's going to have lessons of what are you learning and what are you going to do about it. So by the end of 365 days, you are going to have an amazing journal and an action plan to take you forward. So number one, understanding the essence of an entrepreneur. What does it really take? Well, what do entrepreneurs do? Well, we solve problems, we meet needs. So what are the big problems that are out there? What are the problems you solve? What's the problem I solve? I solve money problems. Typically in business and finance, people don't know how to make it. They don't know how to keep it. They don't know how to invest it. And they sure in the heck don't know how to use a wealth team. In fact, most of you, if you took a list right now and said, who's my wealth team, my entrepreneurial team, you'd probably have an accountant, maybe a lawyer. You probably wouldn't include your banker, but I'd put your banker right up there at the top of the list because those are the ones that are actually not only holding your money, they're the ones that can give you really great rates on other new money that you're going to need for growth. So between 2020 and 2022, there was over 200,000 new businesses started. And what problems were they solving? Well, went straight for the food industry. Look at the food prep that went on. Look at the deliveries that are going on, not only just in food prep, but in stores across the world. They would never do this before. So the pandemic kind of instigated a lot of economic growth and growing new entrepreneurs. 1 out of every 4 entrepreneurs fail. Why? Typically, it's due diligence, and it's a lack of these 3 skills. They don't know how to market, which means they have a great idea. They may solve a problem, but they don't know how to get it out. They don't know how to do social media properly. They don't know how to advertise properly. They don't even have to message their brand properly. So marketing is usually the number one failure. They just don't do it. And without leads, which is the result of great marketing, you don't get sales because you want to get as many leads as you can a day. In fact, we have a formula called 21 and 2, that you need 21 new leads a day and 2 new sales a day. And you do that disciplined, consistent, and persistent is what I teach, those 3 words. You easily will have 5,000 people in a database, and with 5,000 people in a database, you could be easily making $1 million if they're the right people. So I want to invite you right now to our Millionaire Intensive, where we teach you not only how to be a great entrepreneur, how to make sure you don't fail. We actually have a guaranteed process. You can talk to one of our strategists. So in the links below, grab the 2 tickets to our Millionaire Intensive, where you can come learn how to be an entrepreneur. And towards the end, the last 3 hours of that day, it's a 5-hour course, shot every 3 weeks on a Thursday. You actually get to be in a marketplace. And that you're invited back to anytime you ever want to come. So every 3 weeks you can come get leads from us, make sales with us, and start understanding better cash flow, which are the 3 skills you have to do to make sure you're not going to fail as an entrepreneur. The other link I want you to click on is to get a strategy session with our team. Talk about our 100K program. Our 100K program is for those of you who've never made 100K as an entrepreneur. That's $100,000. That's $8,333 a month. That's not that much money. All of you can do it. Per day, it's $416 a day. So what problem can you solve? What thing can you do? What product could you sell? Or service, either way. I like starting with services because you can move them quicker and you don't have any inventories, you don't have any worries about any of that other stuff. So before we leave this first point, I'm actually gonna give you one more link down in the description. It's a Skillset Analyzer. So it analyzes your skills on how you are currently making money, what have you done in the past to make money, and what could be your first entrepreneurial venture. A lot of times you wanna go for products or inventions. That's not where I'd start. Again, I wanna start with something easy. Why? Because you don't know how to be an entrepreneur. The technology of being an entrepreneur, marketing, sales, and cash flow. So start with something easy. What did I do? I started a personal training business at 17. When I jumped out of corporate America, 96 and joined the Rich Dad Poor Dad team. I actually sold somebody else's product line for a very long time, which actually grew into 18 different products. So I sold other people's stuff, learning to be a great entrepreneur. Then I turned on my own stuff and actually created my own content. So a lot of you, you're standing there doing nothing because you think you have to create all this content. Not true. So number 2, The challenge of due diligence, first of all, where do you do due diligence? Where you sure in the heck don't do it out here on what I call the bathroom wall, the internet. So the internet is like permanent graffiti on a bathroom wall. You never get to take it off. Whatever you write about, you talk about. And so many of you already have such negative or just too personal of history on your social channels. So really you're going to do due diligence about starting a new company out here. So this is a great place to get ideas. It's a good place to share. It's a good place to, get other people's input. But how do you really do due diligence? You need to get the books and the records of the company you're looking at starting. If you've never started one, then find what I call model companies. So model companies are companies that are doing what you want to do or close enough to it. So find the companies already doing hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars and go to them. Either jump on their team, be part of the team for a while you're learning and growing into this. And if they won't let you be part of the team, the other thing I've done many, many times is actually just paid for them to mentor and coach me on how they're running that kind of a company. So with that, you want to learn how to do the accounting right away. Like how do you do SKUs? How do you do P&Ls? How do you do balance sheets? What's it even look like for them? Do they have to carry product line? What's your pricing? What's your funnel? All of those things are just things you need to do in due diligence in setting up your company before you even begin. And a lot of times you're going to go into a company because you need to make money. At some point, you want to have a bigger mission, a bigger reason why you're existing and staying. The reason that we have been in business for well over 20 something years, our mission is to change this conversation about money, right? And so how is that going to happen in my lifetime? Probably not. I'm going to make a big dent in it, but it's never going to happen. The problem won't be solved by the time I walk off the planet, but I will make a big dent in it. So what's your mission? And then the bigger thing is what's your exit strategy? Are you here to just build it and sell it? Are you here to build it and go public? Are you here to build it, give equity away? What is your exit, or is it going to stay in the family forever? How do you want this to grow, and how do you want it to move? How do you want to get out? Because a lot of times you entrepreneurs, you get started with no exit plan in sight, and then you get burned out, or you never become good or hire people that can market, sell, and help you understand cash flow. So before I go to number 3, I want you to subscribe to my channel, click that notification button. I want you here 5 days a week. Every day, there's something that we're talking about business and or finance and how to be a great entrepreneur. So I want you to take all those skills and start activating them. And again, coming to our Millionaire Intensive, can't wait to see you there. You're gonna learn to sell because we're gonna teach you how to sell through Zoom technology. Super easy. Once you learn how to sell, here's the greatest thing. You can never take it away from you. So number 3, the emotional pitfalls of being an entrepreneur is number 1, most of you are just emotional entrepreneurs, meaning you actually don't create revenue. You're not solving real problems. You just like walking around saying you're a coach, you're a facilitator, you're a this, you're a that, whatever you are. Are you really producing revenue because you have clients? So the other emotional pitfall is just not being surrounded by other successful entrepreneurs. That's why our community of the Big Table has been so successful. We're the longest standing mastermind and mentoring program in the world, and that has never changed. Our whole goal and agenda was to make you a millionaire. Business and money. So when you are an employee trying to jump over to be an entrepreneur, employees hang out with employees, entrepreneurs hang out with entrepreneurs. You don't have anything to talk about typically with other employees, especially your own. When you do have setbacks, you see them in failures, and most people just stop. So you're going to get used to bumping into walls, I call it. You're going to get bruised, you're going to get scraped, you're going to have challenges. Every entrepreneur has them. Every business has them. You've got to learn to be the best problem solver. The best problem solvers navigate the most. They actually make the most money. So if you have any questions at any point, go to askloral.com, ask a question, make a request. And the other thing I want to give you is one last gift. I want you to go to Ask RMS, stands for AskRapidMarketingSystems.com. All of you looking at being an entrepreneur, you need a database. You need to get incorporated. You need to live corporate life. So we have a lot to teach you. I want to get you on a successful track right away. Go to askloral.com if you have any questions. Make a request, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.